Welcome back to the deep dive. If you've spent any time online looking at health and wellness trends, it's just overwhelming,
It really is.
especially when it comes to things like anti-aging. And today we're talking about peptides. The science is interesting, but it's getting, completely drowned out by hype.
Right.
So our mission today is a deep dive. We're looking at the actual research, Professor Lin's work, reports from CNN and ProPublica, to really figure out what's going on with this huge trend in unproven peptide use.
And this is really an exercise in critical thinking for you, the listener. We have to move past these, glossy influencer claims promising you can cheat death.
Cheat death, yeah.
We're going to look at the core claims, the real risks, and the massive loopholes being exploited here.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We have to start with a basic distinction first, because the risk level is completely different depending on how these things get into your body.
Exactly. So for anyone new to this, a peptide is just a short chain of amino acids. They're like signaling molecules. But what happens to that chain is everything.
Okay.
So first you've got your oral peptides, the ones sold as supplements. You swallow them, and your stomach just breaks them down into basic amino acids.
So they don't do what they claim.
They can't.
Right.
In terms of their promised effects, they're basically useless. We could call them financial scams, but they're generally harmless to your body.
Wait a second. Financial scam feels a little strong. Is it really deception, or is it more like just a poorly marketed protein supplement? Where's that line?
I'd say it's deception when a very specific outcome is promised that is biochemically impossible to deliver that way. But the real danger zone, the one we need to focus on, is injectable peptides.
Right.
These are so much more dangerous. They bypass digestion entirely. They go right into your blood, your cells, and that raises these huge unpredictable risks.
Like what kind of risks?
Allergic reactions, shock, even cancer or death. The body isn't meant to handle them that way.
And this isn't just theory, is it? ProPublica reported back in July 2025 that two people at a festival, get this, called the Revolution Against Aging and Death Festival.
Wow.
They were hospitalized right after getting peptide injections. That's less revolution and more, emergency room.
And that connects to the bigger picture here. This whole trend is being fueled by a really high level of skepticism toward, traditional medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And you have these key promoters, people like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who says he wants to end the FDA's war on these kinds of therapies. Or the biohacker Gary Brecka, who sells injectable peptides for hundreds of dollars.
And these are the same substances the FDA has warned about, right?
The very same. Things like ipamorelin and CJC 1295. The FDA has put out flags for serious safety risks on these.
So what's the central marketing myth they use? It sounds so convincing. They say the substances are safe because they're naturally recognized by the body.
And that is the core myth we have to debunk. The products being sold are almost always synthetic compounds. And critically, the doses are way, way higher than anything your body would ever produce naturally.
So it's not natural at all.
Not in that context.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between a drop of rain and a fire hose.
Hmm.
Paul Knopfler at UC Davis pointed out that these research-grade peptides often have impurities, chemical leftovers.
Yeah.
You just don't know what you're injecting.
Which brings us to the biggest loophole of all, the labeling.
Yes.
So many of them are labeled for research use only, which explicitly means you should not be injecting them. But social media just teaches people to say they're doing research to get around the FDA.
It's a complete exploitation of a system designed for labs, not for people's kitchens. It's
Yeah.
why Dr. Eric Tupol calls them unproven, expensive, and possibly dangerous scams. It's profit over safety.
So after all that, what's the main takeaway for you? I think it's that efficacy and safety are two totally separate things.
That's it. Something can be useless but safe, or it can be useless and also incredibly dangerous.
And with the way the regulatory debate is going, it seems like the burden of figuring that out falls more and more on you, the consumer.
It does. It's especially for anything labeled natural or research only.
And that makes me wonder, what other areas of health and wellness are using that same playbook? Using public skepticism and these obvious loopholes to market things that might be harmful? That's something we should all probably think about. Until next time, stay curious.